Better Days. It's one of those films that will leave a mark. Deep in your mind, deep in your bones. The type of mark that will linger with you for some time after watching it. It's worth mentioning that this film was not only nominated for an Oscar for Best International Film in 2019, it went through its fair share of political controversies and such, that I'm only mentioning it to get it out of the way. Because the movie and the storytelling is absolutely amazing. The story revolves around Chen Yan, a teenage high school student who aspires to achieve high scores in what's known as Gakao. I don't know if I pronounced that right, but it's a pressure cooker of an entrance exam that will determine her future. She becomes the target of bullying after she's singled out by covering the body of a fellow student who just committed suicide. She meets Xiao Bei, a street thug with a heart. They strike up an unlikely friendship that unfolds into a quiet romance that then suddenly flips into a crime thriller. Everything about this movie gets top scores for me, but before we move on, there will be spoilers from this point on, so if you haven't seen the film yet, I highly recommend it. What's up, Sunday fams? Welcome back to another video. I'm gonna put 2 minutes on the clock here, and I'm going to try to do it within those 2 minutes, but I can't promise you anything. Better Days, if you haven't seen it yet, I highly recommend that you go check it out. It's one of the best movies I've ever seen to date. The movie starts off with an adult version of Chen Yan. She is an English teacher teaching her students the difference between was and used to be. Right off the bat, this meaning sets up the overall tone of the story, because even though was and used to be is past tense, used to be symbolize some sense of loss. Losing yourself, losing your soul, losing something is what Better Days is all about. The acting is phenomenal. Zhao Dongyu is absolutely amazing as Chen Yan. Frail, delicate, smart, sensitive, vulnerable, yet remarkably strong-willed. Her drive to survive carries the story in all of its parts. When a character is able to pull you into the world and invite you to feel what they feel, then that's the mark of an amazing actor. She's complemented by Jackson Yi, who plays Xiao Bei, the street thug who spends the movie following her to and from school as a silent bodyguard. The relationship turns from companionship to love, which gives the film some sense of hope. Because the overall cinematography is bleak, unsaturated, gray, dirty, and muted. It looks like it's raining all the time, even though we're in the middle of the day. The secondary characters are well played and memorable, especially Zhou Ye, who plays Wei Lai, the main bully of the film. If she looks familiar, it's because she played Gu Zhang in 2021's hit Word of Honor. The way she bullies Shen Yan in this movie is just pure evil and psychotic. One of the most shocking scenes of the film sees her leading the charge in beating and ripping the clothes off of Chen Yan. It's a disturbing scene that's worth noting. Throughout the film, it's really fascinating to witness how the tone of it is set up in a way that it's an allegory towards bullying. And although bullying is a very sensitive and very serious topic, the main plot points of the movie really uses that as a tether or a jumping off point to other problems within the film, and how society kind of ignores what younger people are going through in these really pressure intensive high school days. And when it comes to the characters of the film, it does a really good job balancing light and dark, and everything is just kind of muddled in the middle in some sort of gray area. And that scene to me was probably one of the most shocking scenes I've seen in a while. It's just so brutal and violent that it kind of snaps everything in half as you're watching this movie. At one point, you're rooting for Chen Yan and Xiao Bei to kind of succeed in this, but then all of a sudden everything gets flipped upside down. How they're going to do whatever it takes to survive. And then it comes to a breaking point where everything just flips. The movie at this point shifts from social allegory to a crime thriller. At the end of the movie, Chen Yan falls for a trap by the detective, and she ends up confessing to the crime. Just when you think your protagonists were going to get some sort of happy ending, they still fall prey to a society that failed them, a society that ignored them. We see them being driven off in what looks like prison clothes, but because they are minors, the film does give you a more hopeful ending. Because after all, Chen Yan does become a teacher, as indicated with the beginning of the movie. In every meaningful way, this movie was an absolute masterpiece. It was ugly, it was dirty, it was beautiful, and it was brilliant. I give Better Days an A+. Hopefully if you've made it to this far into the video, you have seen Better Days, and you have got to give me your opinions and leave those comments in the section below, because this is bar none one of the best Chinese movies I have ever seen to date. Now, there are a few that are out there, but this is really just kind of recency bias, and so leave your comments in the section below. I'd love to know your thoughts. In any case, that is it for me. It probably was way over 2 minutes, but I had to get a lot out just to kind of explain how great of a movie this is. Leave your comments in the section below. Leave us a like, subscribe if you haven't already. Tap that bell so you know when we post new videos. And once again, you have a great and amazing day. I'll see you next time.
Hey, oh, oh, you 내겐 관심이 없죠. You 난 그래도 그대네요. 밤하늘의 별도 밝게 비춘 달도